On this episode of Beyond Baseball, off-seasons are meant for relaxation and rejuvenation, two concepts well understood at Southern Falls, a place where Jake Peavy calls home, but could easily be described by visitors as a southern paradise. Hello and welcome to the inaugural edition of Beyond Baseball, where we go off the grid to show fans what life is like for ball players off the diamond. I'm your host, Amy Gutierrez. Now, it's no secret a Major League Baseball schedule is a grind, both mentally and physically, which makes the offseason a crucial time for players to decompress, regroup, and recharge. One member of the San Francisco Giants spends his time away from the shores of McCovey Cove on the banks of the Alabama River. I had an opportunity to experience Southern hospitality at its finest this past winter as Giants pitcher Jake Peavy opened up his home and shared his version of Bama with a place he named Southern Falls. It's a place like no other, but provides the comforts of his Southern roots. The air is fresh, the people salt of the earth, the music healing, and life moves at a much more relaxed pace. Well, we have the pleasure to be in Alabama in the baseball off-season with the one and only Jake Peavy, San Francisco Giant now for 2 seasons, getting ready for 2016. And I see now why you come in to the season so relaxed. We are at his home of Southern Falls, and thank you for letting us be here.
Thanks for coming, Amy.
I just, it's so nice to be able to show the fans at home what an off-season is like for you.
Right.
And this is a really special place. Tell us a little bit about it.
Right, well, thank you so much, first off, for coming. This means a lot for us. We don't have many guests out here, only invited ones.
Far.
You know, that's the beautiful thing about living off a dirt road. When somebody comes up this road, they're coming to see you and normally planned. But that's a lot of what we need as our life can be a grind during the season.
Tell me a little bit, let's start with the idea of Southern Falls. You, as a child, you grew up with all of your extended family
Right.
on the same land, is that right?
You know, we did, yeah. I grew up, you know, with a small group, just my father's parents and then him and his sister. We all lived together and really ate a lot of family dinners together throughout the week. There's a sense of family. We just wanted a place really to run away and to kind of hide and do us. The world as we know it was getting faster and faster as I was getting to the big leagues. So having a place to come and reflect and really get away from it all is really how this place came about. How much do you find solace when you are able to come here? Are you able to just be Jake when you're here? Certainly, yeah. You know, I mean, obviously, just a select, you know, this is a private place and we keep it that way. That being said, anytime we have guests and the community is certainly, you know, welcome in and around, and we're going to be plugged into this community and many others. But it is, life has went awfully fast, especially these last few years and all that comes with winning a World Series. That being said, none of us, including hopefully everybody at home, I don't think would have it any other way and getting ready to duplicate it here in 2016. It's so much fun to plug in the season and plug into the big city life and go and all of what that life entails. But this is a 180 and such a neat place and a neat perspective. And I believe in quiet time. I believe in being still. And when you get out here, there's something different about breathing the air coming straight off these trees. You know, it's just it's a breath of fresh air. So I think we're gonna go see some horses. Come on, let's go feed them. There's this great path that you're gonna take me on. Right now we just have 7 horses here, and we really aren't quite prepared for our horses, but we took a few in, just having the land that were some rescue horses, and we've got them to where we can ride them and do some trailback riding. I think it's good for the kids, and yeah, we love the trailback ride. I got a few boys that love to do it, so. Few, as in 4. 4 boys. I do, but not all of them are into it. My oldest is scared to death of horses. Okay. It's amazing how different my children are, and I love all of them for their uniqueness. What do you see as a dad when you're able to watch your kids have the opportunity to interact with animals? It's a different kind of relationship when you have one with an animal. We all know that with pet dogs and cats that we have. And I think when you're out on the land and you're using these horses and getting on their backs and asking them to take you around, you have to establish a relationship with that animal and a trust factor that I think is important. And as this place has grown and become what it has, there's a lot of responsibility to be able to divvy that up amongst family and kids as well. I think provides an opportunity a little bit earlier in life to take on a little bit bigger responsibility and
have a work ethic.
Right, I think so, and we certainly, with the world that we live in and raise our children in, it's different at times. So I love that they have this perspective and get to come with me during the season and get all the different culture
Best of both
experiences
worlds.
they get. Yeah.
You really do seem to have throughout your career the best of both worlds as to where you've played, the
blessed.
cities where you've been able to play,
blessed.
and then to be able to come here to decompress and rejuvenate for the next round.
Looking back on it, sometimes I look back and go, God, that's such a perfectly painted little masterpiece of how things have worked out. It never felt like that at the time.
Sure, of course, yeah.
But to have the San Diego, California experience, really culturally different. But I don't know if I was ready for LA and San Francisco or Boston, Chicago, where I've spent other time. But getting a chance to leave there and go to a Midwestern town where the people were a lot like home. But the market was a little bit. Then to Boston, a whole different East Coast animal. Blessed experience there to win, and now I couldn't draw up a better place to play. Getting to call San Francisco home for the better part of the year.
Up next, Jake takes us to his personal fortress of solitude. Plus, we learn how Southern Falls got its unique name.
If you're gonna tell the story about Jake Peavy and your favorite place on earth, let's start at the beginning, and that's where we are. Tell us what this place is to you.
A lot of people probably have a place like this, that they call their favorite place on earth. This truly is mine. And this place was really the third piece of property that we purchased here. In this area, we had the home site where you see all the buildings in the western town being built. This was a separate piece that we bought from a lady who was raised here on the land and got to tell us so many unique stories and truly about this waterfall. And when we bought this place and we were loving to come up here, we needed a name. This was a pretty sizable land acquisition, and we had a ranch, so to speak, at this point in time. And we found our name down here once again at our favorite place. You see the bridge there, that's an old Southern Railroad car used for the bridge up over the creek, and there's Southern Falls. You're looking at it, pretty self-explanatory. This is my place really where I get away from it all. No cell service, just come down and breathe some fresh air. Every now and then you'll be laying down here or sitting in the swing and watch animals come through. It's a neat spot.
I mean, how much time and thought when you purchase a major acquisition of land goes into naming it,
Well,
and you don't want it to be cheesy or egotistical.
We did go through a lot. That being said, when you walked in this spot and simply looked up, with the Southern background that we have, that we're proud of where we come from, and always want to be reminded of that. That being said, we're very culturally diverse as well. But we're proud to call this place Southern Falls, and a lot of thought went into it really before we stepped foot on this place. I think shortly after we stepped foot on this place, Southern Falls was here to stay.
Give us a little geography lesson. So we were like 5 miles out from the lodge where
you're about 4.5, 5 miles
live.
from the house site where the western town front is being built. And you're not too far from the land here in the Alabama River, and we have some big plans coming down here that we're going to branch out on and really clean it up, keep the natural look, of course, but clean a lot of it up, and eventually got a tree house coming and some cool stuff dealing with music. And this is going to be a cool place hopefully for years to come, and a place to share with a lot of the community and the world to impact kids' lives as well.
And a lot of philanthropic thoughts with your land. And I can say this. I get to say this. Jake Peavy, one of the most generous baseball players that I've ever come across. But what are some of the thoughts of how you want to give back with what you've acquired?
Well, I think that just comes along with the territory of what I do for a living. It's just part of the job description. Especially when you get older and you really grow into seeing the impact and the platform that you have, and able to generate some funds and raise awareness for different things. Having a place like this, we believe we can do that, and we're building it in hopes that a lot of that stuff will come to fruition. And we see that coming in the near future, where we're doing kids camps, where we're doing disabled veteran stuff. A lot of stuff through our foundation, and then a lot of stuff with baseball camps, of course, will be a part of the deal. But at the end of the day, trying to impact our younger generations. So it's nice to give kids a different perspective and teach them how to milk a cow or two.
And what do you see in a child when they're able to see this?
Well, there's nothing in the world that makes you feel like giving. I think we all know that. And when you're able to acquire something, make it special in your own way. Share that with anybody. It's special. When you share it with a kid in a number of ways, whether it be taking them out and seeing the land, playing in the water and the waterfalls, or fishing in a lake, or just spending time with them away in the peace and quiet of serenity, where it's really one-on-one time. And like I said, being able to give them such a different experience than they normally have truly makes me happy. And like I said, at that point in time, you have their attention and able to impact their life, because you're making them happy and giving them a lot of what they want and experience that'll last a lifetime, hopefully.
Okay, so I think I'm going to take my life into my own hands, and I'm going to get in this crazy Polaris thing with
There you go, close, Polaris.
Yeah, Polaris. Remember, I'm a newbie, and we're going to go to the lodge and the western.
Yeah, let's go. I'll show you a little bit more of the land, and we'll go back to where we're building the western town front. And,
Western town front.
All
right, it's our next stop. All right.
Coming up, before we head over to the western town front, Jake shows us his diamond in the rough.
Got a lot of things here at Southern Falls, but it probably wouldn't be complete without a little touch of baseball added to the mix. Tell me a little bit about where we're headed.
We're headed over to what is going to be a full sports complex. Right now, we just have our baseball field. We are gearing up, like we talked about, towards camps and doing a lot of things with children. Baseball is obviously a love of mine, the first love, and really what's allowed me and my family to experience this dream that we get to live in. So, fresh off 2013, which I played that year in Boston, we were able to win a world championship there. We came back, built a memento to that, and now have a lot of San Francisco coming to the Ball Diamond. So let's go take a look at it.
I finally do not feel out of my element.
Right.
Because we're at a ballpark and it's really windy. I mean, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill ballpark somebody built in their backyard. This is legit, and you actually use this for your off-season training.
Yeah, it's a really cool place. We prematurely built our ball field. That being said, we did a lot of things after winning our first World Series in Boston. It's what I need to work when I'm here in the winter. There's not many workout facilities close by.
I know, this was done right after you won with Boston, and you're waiting on a lot of your Giant stuff to be done. What are your plans with the things that you've been able to accomplish with the Giants, all your paraphernalia?
Well, like I said, 2013 was such a rush, and we had waited for 12 years to be a part of something that special. So we celebrated and we had a blast, and we're going to have a sports complex here, and we built this little replica Fenway Park. With the scoreboard, how it was that night when we beat St. Louis, and look at it, which is perfect segue into the Giants, because the Giants love beating St. Louis.
They do well.
So now we turn around in 2014 was such a magical run, and then I had this. I'm going, oh gosh, how do I do this? Do I build another ballpark? So we're finding ways now that we're going to bring this lake here that you see around and create McCovey Cove here. What you see, we already have the wind, which is just
Mother
perfect.
Nature's just helping you out.
But we're going to throw some really cool things in here that San Fran's going to be proud to see what we do. Our trolley car is going to be displayed down here.
The trolley car.
It's going to be fun. Right? Yeah. It's this is my home away from home. This is where I work out when I'm not at AT&T Park, and I'm on my own time when I need to work out, when I need to run, throw. This is where I get to do it, and right across the street from home. It's not too bad.
How important is it, especially Jake, coming off the season that you had where you started with an injury, you came back so strong the last half of 2015, to utilize your off season as a springboard training-wise?
Getting an off season is special because you get that time to heal, then you have to get back on the wagon if you're not getting better. We're trying to play the game at the highest level, and there's a lot of kids around the world training to come take my job. So we take that serious year round and being in physical shape to go. But the last few off seasons for San Francisco have been tough. Over those 5 years, they've played more time, and I tell people a lot of times you just can't make up time. I think with the conversations I've had with Hunter and Buster, the rest of the guys, we're excited that we're back in the mix in 2016.
I think it's fair to say one of the favorite parts about you for fans is to watch your energy on the mound. And there's a lot of quiet leaders on the Giants, and then there's some vocal ones, and you're one of them. And when you see a good defensive play, you're going to let your teammate know about it. How much do you feed off of fan energy, and what is that level with the Giants fan?
Right, there's not a better fan base in baseball than the San Francisco Giants. Look, there's fan bases that I've played for, and Boston fans, I'm sure, are going to hate to hear me say that. I can't take one over the other. It's the same energy. Those two energies for me eclipse everything. And to me, like, everything in life is the energy you bring, the attitude you choose to show up to work with every day.
Every place you've played, you've been beloved. You're a fan favorite across the nation. Where does San Francisco fit in for you? And it's so different than where we're at right now, but you seem to be in love with San Francisco.
I am in love with San Francisco, you know. And a lot of people say the same thing. I didn't think that it would be your type of place. And that's just, you know, I was raised in a very southern small town. That being said, I got to see the world at an early age, leaving home at 17 and being in the minor leagues, and then to San Diego, to Chicago, Boston, and now back to the West Coast where I belong. It's been fun on the baseball side of things, but the city, the culture, the music, the people, the fan base, everybody in San Francisco, while it be so diverse, have a lot of the same value, family values that I grew up with, that we have here at Southern Falls.
After the break, Jake Peavey's artistic side goes well beyond painting the corners. Get a front row seat to Peavey's passion beyond the park.
It only seemed appropriate to wrap up our day with you in the place where you wrap up most of your days in the off season. We're in the music room, and Jake, just tell us about how special this place is to you.
You know, music's special to me in general, and any place that I'm going to call home and spend any significant amount of time in is going to have to have a place where it's set up where I can play a little bit of music. I love all instruments. I dabble in all, do none great, but they all make me feel great in doing them. So music's just such a great release, and it's a part of my life throughout the baseball season, throughout the off season. It's certainly a constant.
How important is it to you to have that connection to music, but also does it give you a connection to home when you're away?
You know, it certainly does, because music is such a centerpiece of a lot of what we are about around here and what we find enjoyment in. So we play it in the saloon, we play it on the amphitheater and out around fire pits. There's music constantly going here, just because it creates a certain kind of energy and a buzz that we all associate and love. That being said, you know, I see it kind of like this in the way in the minor leagues. I had a roommate. On the road, you had a roommate. You laid in your bed and pillow talked with another dude about your job, whatever it may be. You know, in the big leagues, that was strange to me when I had a room by myself. Luckily, our good buddy Tim Flannery bought me a guitar shortly after I got to the big leagues, and that became my roommate, so to speak. So you're not going to catch me away from home without a guitar, which always brings me to this place. So it's a neat connection.
The entire room is filled with guitars. So, I mean, how far back are we going with when you started this collection?
I guess probably a good 6-7 years of collecting. over the years, I kick myself for some of the times I think back and opportunities and stuff I once had that didn't value until really music grabbed a hold of me, and I started playing on a regular basis, and guitars became my thing and starting to get unhealthy.
There's just a few in here. The Giants fans are so excited for you to be back in 2016, and I know it's a big year for you because you're a free agent after that, which I'm sure they hope that you're coming back there. But for you, as you are on the tail end of your career, it looks like you've kind of set up a really cool second act, and music is part of it. What's happening outside of Southern Falls in Mobile?
You know, we are branching out into Mobile and have established headquarters, so to speak, for the Jake Peavy Foundation, that we're really going to establish roots in Mobile, in our hometown. We've traveled so much and we love all the communities we've been blessed to be a part of, but it's time that we really come back to where we're from, and that's going to help set up some business opportunities, and we have started in the beginning stages of creating Dolphin Street Sound, which is going to be a studio, and really promote culture and the music in the area and the surrounding areas. So it's going to be a fun next step. That being said, like I'm all in and excited for this baseball season and what it brings. It's that even year that we all hear so much about. Yeah. We got to recreate that magic here, and I think it's building already.
Before you recreate magic, you know, you got to have some fun, and I think the Peavy clan in general just likes to have fun. Is it a nightly occurrence, the saloon, and some music and
you know, I would say on the
festivities?
weekends. I would say on the weekends, just simply because my group of friends all seem to play, whether it be somebody I do office work with, they tend to have that love for music, and throughout their journey has started to play or get pushed to play, being around so many musicians. And a lot of times at Southern Falls, with the hunting type winter crowd, there's a lot of music played in the Mill Creek Saloon throughout the week, and we're looking to find a way to share that as well. So it's going to be fun for years to come, we hope.
I think it sounds like a really good way to wrap up the evening, to go watch you sing some songs in the saloon.
Watch us sing some songs.
Maybe just Jake, maybe. Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, Amy, for hanging out.
Going out of yonder, there's peace in the valley. Oh, you don't know the shit by me. I'm down here just looking for my name, and I heard that's where she don't know how. Save your neck, save your brother. Looks like it's one or the other.